Met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face. Blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
Such sights to show you. We'll tear your soul apart.
Hi, this is Danielle Harris, and you're watching Death Curse Society.
Just in the middle of a dream, I was kissing Valentino by a crystal blue Italian stream. But I can't be late, 'cause then I guess I just won't get paid. These are the days when you wish your bed was already made. It's just another manic Monday. It was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. I don't have to run day. It's just another manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. It's just another manic Monday.
Welcome back to another Death Curse Society and Monday Maniacs. I'm Red Crank. I got the Colonel and Zigzag. What's up, gents?
What's up? Oh, yeah. Happy Memorial Day. Like I said, we're tipping the cap to those who, the memory of those who gave the ultimate sacrifice for this country, and that should never be forgotten. So we're trying to do that. Thank you.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Yeah. I agree with you. Ziggy, how was your week this week before we get into
Pretty crazy, man. We're starting to lock things down with the cons coming up here, and I was spending, we got this heat wave coming at us, 90 degrees all week, so I busted my ass and got the pool up. That was a bitch. Got it filled, and then I took a dip before we went on the air tonight, and I damn near got hypothermia. I couldn't get back to the fucking ladder, man. It was so fucking cold. My kid's out there 3 hours. He loves it. I can't do that shit no more, man. I was like, I can't move. And, so we got done with that, and that's it, man. Pretty much was work and building a pool and trying to get these details filed out for Living Dead weekend coming up here.
That's right. A week and a half away. I'm leaving on a week from Thursday. So, yep. Get ready, Patricia. We're heading up to your neck of the woods. How about you, Colonel?
Pretty busy. Just wrapping up the month of May. It's a personally busy month for me. That's all over, so I've been playing Dad as best I can because the month of June is coming up. It's the end of quarter. I'm going to have no social life after this. So,
You had a nice birthday party, it looked like.
it was good. It was fun. It was nice.
Yeah, very
So I had
good.
unicorn balloons all over the house, but they'll eventually get popped or deflate. I'm letting nature run its course on those.
No one's going to suck the helium out and make their voice sound all goofy.
Shit. What are you talking about? Fucking helium, man. I'm putting these motherfuckers up. I ain't buying no helium tank.
All right.
It costs extra, man. That ain't really much.
There's a shortage, man. Shit. It's all right.
There it is, exactly. Fuck. Inflation's been crazy.
It's either a helium tank or a professionally made cake. What the hell you want? We're getting the cake.
Yeah. I want to call it professional. It didn't look anything like the picture when I saw it. So they
You know what I
gave me a on it. I was like, it doesn't look anything like it would.
All right. Yep. Tonight is going to be a little different, guys, because we're speculating. We're playing with ideas. We're almost throwing our hat in the ring to give you guys, you filmmakers out there that we have just ripped down because of what you have put out into the world. We're giving you a chance to call us the stupid assholes and tell us that would never work. Because what we're doing is we're trying to come up with ideas to relaunch classic horror franchises. And even in some cases, not even franchises, just how would you revisit classic titles that stuck with you back in the day? I know Colonel's got at least one that we even talked about it a little bit last week, and I guess that's where we'll probably start off with here in a minute. But
Yeah.
I liked where you were even going last week. I'm curious now that you've had 7 days to let that thought permeate.
We'll see.
Yeah. I don't know either, but my week was pretty laid back, pretty calm most of the time. Don't really need to get into much more than that. But Tyrone's here, Lorena's here, Adam's here. What's up, Adam? Happy birthday.
Happy
birthday.
birthday. Damn. Another one.
Another one. Also, happy birthday. I don't know if he's in the room yet. I haven't seen his name pop up, but happy birthday to Seth.
Yep. Over there.
I saw that earlier.
On Padres.
Yeah.
Good fellas.
Tanya's here. S. Michael's in the house. BK. Kiara is back from a 7-day Facebook ban.
Woo.
Glad you didn't get a permanent.
Mm-hmm.
Patricia's here. Yeah, I figured tonight, probably since it was a holiday, Monday, going to be kind of a thin night. But I think this is going to be a pretty interesting conversation to have. And of course, you guys are part of the conversation as well. You can tell us what you think of our ideas. You can give us your own ideas. How would you relaunch a storied franchise from the horror realm? That's what this topic's all about tonight. So first, though, let me thank our members. Thanks to our final girls, Corey, Chris, Lorena, Christy, Luke, S. Michael, Patricia, Tanya, and Tyrone. And our Crazy Ralphs, Angelo and Raymond. And our camp counselors, Stacy Lynn, Orlando, Kiara, and Dave. Thank you, guys.
I actually did some cleaning on my computer here, so hopefully the signal's a lot better and stronger now because it's not all clogged with all the videos and shit I had. I moved it to a separate hard drive. Unfortunately, most of my sound effects went with it, and when I pulled my board up, all I had was the porn music. So if the situation presents itself, we'll get that. But that's all I got aside from the regular stuff on the board here.
Well, I have a feeling some of the topics that we get into and some of the movies that we get into might be a little sexy to talk about. But we'll see. And one last one that came in. Raymond's in the house. Welcome, Raymond. Thanks for coming in.
Raymond's making, if you've got Freddy Krueger gloves you want to display, this guy can build you a display. And Ray, go ahead and put your contact information in the comments. And
link or something.
Anybody needs one, we can hook you up.
All right. Well, Colonel, you ready to dive into this? You want to start with the
first 2 weeks in a row?
Well, you kind of started it last week.
Yeah, it's your fault.
And
it's not my fault. I didn't even. I'm the least enthusiastic about this topic out of the three of us.
I don't remember what this button does, so I'm going to push it, but it might not relate.
As a matter of fact,
Oh,
it was.
kind of.
His fault. So it did fit. Yes, it was your fault.
I don't even want. This was not my fault. 'Cause I didn't even want to fucking do this topic. Damn it. Okay.
Yep. Get you lubricated.
Well, for one, I didn't want to do franchises on my list. Been there, done that. That's what everybody's doing right now. Kind of the exclusion, excluding it's me, Billy. God, they rebooted that. Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I picked 3 movies that I'd rather have a sequel to. And I really don't want a sequel to the very first one, which is the most thought out one I have, The Monster Squad. Yes, you guys started it last week, and I was with logistics and time frames and everything else, and I kind of looked at this from a fan film perspective, budget type deal. So I think I have it worked out. You can even bring back the alumni really quick. It starts off, you're bringing back Sean, Rudy, and Phoebe. Okay? They're the only 3 out of the kids that are either still alive or that really have something to do with the movie still. Patrick, I guess you can.
Uh-oh.
No way.
We lost the Colonel.
What the hell? I wonder if his internet went out or power.
Nope, I accidentally hit a button, getting cat hair off my. I was like, what would I do? Same way the dude that played Patrick, he has nothing to do with this shit. He don't want nothing to do with it. He just pops up for a signing from time to time. So Patrick is not in this. It's literally Sean, Phoebe, and Rudy, which sucks because I would love to have Patrick in there so Rudy can be married to his sister, his fine-ass sister, I guess. Not going to work. Well, the amulet's out the fucking way. There's no way we can go 100 years into the future. There's no way we could jump to 2086. Sad thing is, it's not super far away from that.
Right? Uh-oh. Hello.
So you got me going kind of crazy stuff.
Oh, wow.
I think I just heard a bottle break. Or at least fall.
It could have been. Well.
Hey, the show sometimes gets interrupted by the
It's
kiddo.
all right. Yep. He's pausing his action.
We'll come back to the Colonel in a minute. You want me to pull you out for a minute?
All right. There he goes.
We'll let Colonel deal with life for a moment.
Gotta settle with life. It's fine. She's a cutie though, isn't she?
She is. Got it.
Let me tell you, there's nothing funnier than that kid going ch, ch, ch.
Right. See, Patricia's right on board with Colonel, though. I would like to see a continuation of the Monster Squad. I think, what are they calling it now? A legacy sequel when it's like several years later?
It's the same.
I think a legacy sequel for the Monster Squad would be great.
We could probably call it the Ghostbusters treatment or the Halloween treatment. You know what I mean?
Right. All right, there he is.
And that's pretty much where I'm at with this one. So, like, within like the first 10, 15 minutes of the movie, Sean, Phoebe, and Rudy fucking gone. The monsters are getting their revenge, but it's not the monsters you would think. We're going second tier Universal monsters on this one, because that's the only way that would make sense. Not necessarily second tier, but you're not your main 5 that you had in the original. I'm thinking Invisible Man, Daughter of Dracula, the Invisible Man, Daughter of Dracula, Werewolf of London. We're going that route. Bride of Frankenstein, even though she'll still be like the role as of Frankenstein, she'll be your good guy out of the monsters. And I don't know, the Phantom. Throw the Phantom in there. Okay, so they're getting their revenge. They kill the parents, the kids escape. You know, and then I almost wanted to be almost the same fucking story, where they come across, you know, they escape, they come back, they come across Sean's diary. They're reading through it. It's not in German. You don't need a translator. Scary German guy is out of it. And he's telling the tale from his perspective as a 12-year-old how they defeated the monsters.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much, instead of using the amulet at midnight to suck them into limbo, they literally said, okay, we got to hunt them down and kill them. You fast forward a few years, 10 years into the future. They're grown. They pretty much become monster hunters, and they travel the world destroying the monsters. I haven't really got too much any further than that. I don't want to see this movie get made. I don't want the Monster Squad to be touched. Perfect where it is. But damn it, we're going Ghostbusters route. Like you said, legacy characters being killed off quickly. We established our new crew of the Monster Squad. So these guys are fucking badass, and it's they who do the hunting, not the other way.
Okay.
That's the only way I thought you could make it work on a cheap budget.
All right. Well, and you brought up the Ghostbusters Afterlife as kind of your example of the way you would want that to go.
Yeah, because that was a total fan service that worked.
I agree.
We all discussed that when the movie came out. That was the perfect fan service.
That was the best legacy sequel that we've seen so far?
Oh, in my opinion, yes.
Okay.
Because the original characters, they did them well. You didn't get too much of them. Obviously, we're short of Ghostbuster, but damn it, they made it work.
Made it work.
In a very touching way. It was good. And I liked, other than podcast, the majority of the cast, I thought was pretty good. Podcast was fucking annoying. I couldn't have done without him.
But I understand why he was included.
No, it was the comedic relief.
Right.
Even though Little Egon was way better.
Yeah.
It was the comedic relief.
Yep.
Her scientific dad jokes were fucking amazing. What you gotta say, Zach?
Yeah. I was just going to say, Ziggy, anything you would add to Colonel's Monster Squad legacy sequel?
I would never, ever defile the Monster Squad in any capacity against the Colonel. I just couldn't do it because, I've only seen it a couple of times, truth be told, over the whole time it's been around. So, I would never even attempt to step foot into there. And much like Ronnie Yu should have stayed out of Freddy versus Jason, that's the way I respect the Colonel on this. So, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it also kind of brings to mind, I know they've been talking about this for at least a decade, but they've been wanting to do a sequel to the Goonies and bring back that cast. It kind of is like that. I know you're not a huge Goonies fan, Colonel, but...
No, I was a Monster Squad kid. Fuck the Goonies.
Right.
I like the Goonies.
Ziggy, would you like to see a legacy sequel of the Goonies?
I was, my interest was piqued when they were talking about it and everyone was getting on it. But then once Richard Donner passed away, that was pretty much, that's gone too now with them.
Yeah.
You don't have like a Mel Gibson from that troop, the Lethal Weapon guy that's going to pick up the reins and make that film anyway. Instead of Donner, you're still going to get a Lethal Weapon 5 or whatever it is.
Right.
But there was talk of a script in a Goonies sequel with a legacy characters and everyone coming back and then their kids going on a huge adventure. But yeah, I just don't see, if they did, it would just lack that magic now.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go see it for sure, just because I dug that one so much. Because you didn't really know what the Goonies were when we went to saw it. Everybody was like, okay, it's going to be like an adventure movie, but you didn't give it away. You didn't have the fucking internet to spoil shit for you. So you went to saw it. It was a genuine adventure. There was a bunch of shit in there that was cool. So I would love to see them characters now like this in this age, dealing with it. And even if it were just little bit parts in there, fine. It's fine.
See, what I would like is another Goonies. No kids, have people play themselves at their current age. You can make it a fucking comedy, man. It would be so fucking funny. People pulling hamstrings and shit, getting winded.
Yeah, I mean, it's doable, totally doable. I mean, but I think a lot of those people are out of the biz. I mean, they quit acting after, like Chunk. He's not an actor anymore, and what's his name in the Goonies? He's Short Round in Raiders. Anyway, that guy that had all the gadgets and stuff. He just came back to acting recently.
Right.
Money talks, man. You'd be able to talk them into it.
Yeah, I mean, I think too. I mean, but without, sorry to say it, but you need Corey Feldman for this to work. They even want to attempt it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably get rolling, and Martha Plimpton would probably be into it. She's not doing much lately, so I mean, I think you could probably do it. You could probably get most of that cast together, but you need Corey Feldman, man. Unfortunately, you have to, and obviously, Aston as well.
Colonel, one question I have for you: would your Monster Hunter kids, would they be working together, or would they be working individually and then meet up on like one specific case that brings them back together?
Oh no, they would be a total team. Like,
okay,
you got to think, the majority of these kids, they're cousins, they're related because Sean and Phoebe were brother and sister. Rudy's kids, we can fix some way with their fucking neighbors. Growing up, we can figure it out. Like, I haven't got all the details worked out where they're going to train and. They're going based on Sean's, knowledge of monsters because they join the monster squad. You have to fucking have a monster test to fucking pass and get in anyway. So they're going to learn how to kill the werewolf, how to kill the vampires, how to do this, how to do that. But I just haven't figured out how they're going to train. We're going to have a montage of them as kids. The kick-ass music playing, they get older. Doing the same shit, and the punching bag gets hit hard and hard. Montage. Knocks it off the fucking chain.
Fighting all the monsters. Montage.
Yeah, we'll fucking figure it out. You gotta have a montage in it, baby.
Got to. You have to. Like I was mentioning while you were gone, Colonel, Patricia says, I would like to see a continuation of the Monster Squad. Tyrone says, I fucking love this shit. And, but when we were talking about Goonies, Patricia asks, "Oh, Chunk isn't even chunky anymore.
Yeah,
he truffle shuffle."
It'd be chunky to truffle shuffle.
If Corey Feldman's still there, he would force him to truffle shuffle at some point. That would have to happen.
And then maybe that would be the joke. He'd fucking kick his ass because he's all in shape now. I don't know.
Yeah. And here you go.
Goonies.
S. Michael says, Wolfman still got nards. Why not? I like it, Colonel. If you're going to do a completely unnecessary sequel, let a true fan write the script.
Goddamn right. I wouldn't write the script. I can give them the plot and the outline. Say, fill the fucking blanks in it for them.
You give them the treatment, dude, and let them run with it. Hopefully they don't fuck it up.
Oh, they would fuck it up. Like I said, that movie, out of my 3 movies, sorry, folks, I don't have 5 because I could have swore it was only 3. 3 to 5 tonight, doesn't matter. I only got 3, which works because I didn't have time to really think about the other 2. Like, I'm literally going to do this while we're sitting here. I'm just going to talk my way through it and see if we get some cool shit rolling.
Right. Well, I like your idea, and it actually kind of gave me another idea that's a little off topic, but what if E.T. came back? Spielberg's still around, Henry Thomas is still around, Drew Barrymore's still around, C. Thomas Howell is still around.
You better have a hell of a convincing reason to have him come back here. A warning or something. Maybe there's another race of aliens attacking behind him, coming.
No.
Warning. No.
Dude, no, tie it in with Psycho Gorman. Because he's already on the fucking loose.
Well, then you got to get Fried Barry, man, because they've ripped off E.T. the whole way anyway.
All right, no Psycho Gorman. No, fuck that.
Hey.
No, like if Elliot's kid was
Come
in, like Elliot's kid was getting somehow, because E.T. and Elliot probably still have that psychic connection, light years across the universe, I would think. And if Elliot starts worrying about his kid, E.T. could come back and help guide his kid to a more righteous path. Something like that. I don't know. Again, that was just kind of off the top of my head.
Could work. I mean, and now all these kids running around in Grogu costumes instead of Yoda costumes.
Right?
So he'd still be confused, like, hey, I don't know what's up, man.
Right? Luke's shit, he's late, dealing with some tornadoes tonight. Be safe up there. I thought we were a little more north from you, but be careful, brother. I kind of looked at that earlier. Be careful. And he also adds Shout Factory is doing special editions of the first 3 Child's Play.
Yeah.
I just saw that.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So we'll come back to you, Colonel, for some of your other 2. We'll kind of bounce around, I think, tonight.
That idea.
And Ziggy, you got one that you want to...
Well, like I said, I have a bunch of titles, and I actually took it a step further as a relaunch of all these titles all at once in one big fucking movie, a multiverse of fucking horror movies. So maybe you go ahead and do one.
You want
and
me
then I'll come back, and then I'll blow out my idea, and then you guys can tap out your other 2.
All right. Well, I kind of stuck with just the main 3 because and my ideas are fairly not too involved, but fairly basic most of the way through. All right. I'll start with this one because this is the one that, well, they all get talked about a lot, but one's actually in production right now. So I'm not going to mess with that one too much yet, but I would do things differently once this new trilogy is over with that series. That's a whole different animal. But I'll start with this one. No, let's start with this one. How would you bring Freddy Krueger back with Nightmare on Elm Street? Sorry to say, it's basically got to be a straight, flat reboot. New actor. I do not think you could get Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund, to come back as Freddy. You might be able to get him to come in as in one scene. I've seen this theory pass around. You're getting to come into 1 or 2 scenes and pass the torch to a younger person. I don't get that. I don't like that idea. I don't think it would work. So I think this has got to be a brand new reboot. Find a new Freddy. Tell the backstory again. Maybe tweak the backstory a little bit. I had actually started writing the script a while back, redoing this. And one of the thoughts that I kind of had was, yes, Freddy was pissed that he got caught for being a child killer in the original series. But do you think he'd also be pissed if he got blamed for being a child killer, but he wasn't the child killer? It was somebody else that was doing the killing, and he was the one that was blamed, burned alive, and accused. That was my kind of twist on it. And his revenge was coming back and trying to kill not only the kids of the parents who burned him, but also the person who threw the blame onto him in the first place that got him to be the accused. But yeah, I don't see England coming back. And to all those out there that are just like, well, then the Nightmare on Elm Street series is done. No, you're wrong. That's not the way it's going to happen. And here's one little twist I would do with Nightmare on Elm Street. In between each movie, I would also link up with some streaming service, whichever one has the rights to the Freddy franchise now and works with a streaming service, Netflix, Hulu, whatever, or whoever the highest bidder is, and do a season of Freddy's Nightmares in between every movie, or maybe 2 seasons, just to have little stories in between, because I think an anthology with that could still work and tie the movies together in a way. So that would be my twist and idea for rebuffing, relaunching Nightmare on Elm Street. Again, I'm not going to get too far deep into it, but yeah, pretty simple.
That's not a bad idea, but here's a stupid idea on my part, I'll admit. It might save them having to do a total reboot. I mean, you're doing a reboot, but it gives you the luxury of starting at the beginning, but keeping the original films as part of it. And it might be an easier way to, a new Freddy Krueger. What if you had the nightmare demons, Freddy's dead, possess somebody new? Then you might be able to get away from the whole Robert Englund having to be Freddy deal. That might make it a little easier for people to accept a new actor in that role.
Maybe, but I think the backstory of Freddy is so good, and you would be kind of doing it would still be a reboot in a way, but it would be a reboot from an existing film, and you're also picking one of the least favorite existing films. So
I'm just trying to think of a way, because let's be honest, that's the problem. It wasn't the only problem with the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were just, granted, you'd have to use practical effects, not CGI, for his fucking face. But people just won't let go of Robert Englund being Freddy. Like you said, it's not going to happen. The man's 75 fucking years old. He can't do it. He just can't fucking do it. Like, people eventually, I'm just trying to think of a way to get people to not be so attached to that actor in that role.
Right. I get it. I definitely get it. I personally think you'd have to do just a fresh reboot. And I think at least the way my writing was coming when I was working on this a couple years ago, it was going to be about 30 to 45 minutes of like the background story. Like, the murders had happened, and the murders in the school were starting to really tick up. And the last 15 minutes of that was 20 minutes of that was Freddy gets accused, Freddy goes to court, Freddy gets out of court, or gets released on bond or whatever, the parents chase him down, burning, blah, blah, blah. And then the last hour was him chasing down through the dreams. So you had kind of a mixture of one plus the backstory that you get in the pilot of Freddy's Nightmares or whatever. So here's one that Patricia mentioned a little bit ago. She would like to see an updated Wishmaster.
That almost made my list, but I wanted to stay away from franchises and do one-off movies. Wishmaster, you guys know I love that fucking franchise. That is that and Candyman are my 2 90s franchises, man. They're fucking sweet, especially the first one.
Right. Brucey, I'm not even gonna look at it. So, keep them coming, Bruce. But do better. We may get back to Wishmaster though here in a little bit. That may be another bonus one we throw out later. Patricia says the new Stranger Things season is a lot like Nightmare on Elm Street. I've heard a little bit about that, but I have not started watching it yet. I'm trying to wait until both parts drop, and then I can binge it all in one or 2 sittings.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I watched the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think I found my new least favorite character in Star Wars.
Oh no, that bad?
I hope it gets better.
All right. And Patricia says, who would you like to see play Freddy? We've talked about this before in passing, but man, I think you got to get new blood. I think you got to find somebody youngish. And there's an actor named Nicholas Hoult that I think would be perfect for it. He was the zombie in Warm Bodies, if anybody knows that movie. He was in Mad Max Fury Road, one of the crazy ones in that movie. I don't have the ability to find a photo and share with you guys, or I would, but actually I may be able to. I may be able to do it a different way. But that would be my pick. I think he's got the right body structure for it. He's got the acting chops. I think he can play. I think he can play something very, very scary, and that's. I would rather see Nightmare on Elm Street go the scary route rather than the, slapstickest comedy that they went like in the 80s. Luke says that Nightmare on Elm Street poster is still one of the best, although I don't like many of the sequels. I got to give them to the awesome cover art. Yeah. And they had the same artist do most of the posters, I think. He's got the original soundtrack on vinyl. It's still one of the scariest soundtracks. It was good. Ziggy, who would you have play Freddy in a reboot?
There's a couple of guys out there that would, I think, nail it. I still think Kevin Bacon, even though he's not too far behind Robert Englund, 10, 12, 13 years. But, I think he would be good. Benedict Cumberbatch, he fucking would probably kill it too, I think, I think he'd be good. Yeah. He'd be interesting. He's got the build, he's got that lanky build that I think I look for in the Freddy. I still like Haley's portrayal. It wasn't his fault, man.
Right.
But the CGI makeup really sucked. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
If I had to pick, I'd say Kevin Bacon. I'll go with Kevin Bacon. I think he'd be good.
And he's only like 5 years younger than.
I know that. It would have to be in and out. You have to get it done fast. Knock one out every year for 5-6 years. He's in good shape still, man. He could do it.
He's in good shape, but I don't know. What about you, Colonel?
Dude, I really don't know because, like I said, it's such an iconic role. You got to go with young blood. I like to see a more acrobatic Freddy Krueger. Scary, but a little more fast. And you got to strike while the iron is hot. Huge name. I bet he would do it. Tom Holland.
I was just thinking that.
That's obviously not a bullshit answer. I don't know because I think Kevin Bacon would make a good one, but he's too old. These new actors, I know the guy you're talking about from Warm Bodies.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't get the image of Warm Bodies out of my head for him. It just doesn't work. Fuck, man. I don't know. That's a tough one because, unfortunately, like everybody said before, Freddy talks. He has a personality. You gotta try to match that. And I'm not even talking about sequels. I'm still talking about Nightmare on Elm Street. Freddy was
still. It's not too hard to go.
Turn it like this, and all of a sudden you just do a little pitch shift, and you got Freddy.
Yeah, but it was his movements. Like Jason and Michael, while different actors played them differently, that mask helped you know who it was, and you could notice slightly different movements. Freddy's always had the same movements, man. Always. That's where I think it's gonna be a little difficult to replace him.
Right. Here's the actor, and it's just a publicity shot. This is Nicholas Hoult that I was talking about. I just think he's got that look that could be made up into Freddy.
The shape is right.
So
eyes go a long way, and obviously.
And he's only in his 30s, so he's got plenty of time to build a new franchise out of it, a new series of films.
People got to get old, man.
Yeah. Kiara says, definitely need a Friday the 13th remake. I'm sure we're going to get into that because that's one that we're probably all going to have something to say about. Remake the original for fun, but with people who know what they are doing. The 2009 reboot was just more of a continuation of the story. It was kind of weird. I didn't hate the 2009, but they tried to jam too much into it.
Derek Mears played a great fucking Jason.
Yeah.
And if they ever redo it, I think he's young enough to still pull it off. But man, my problem with 2009 was it was kind of like she said, it was just more of the same. The Jason was good. The script wasn't great. It just, I don't know. I didn't like filling 2 movies in one. It was kind of like,
Seriously, got 4 first movies in that movie, you know? Honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of.
Luke has a way to relaunch Freddy. Amber Heard takes a shit on Johnny Depp's bed. The power it creates brings Freddy's power, and he comes back. Just kidding. Sick of that tabloid shit.
oh, that's a good idea, man. Because instead of, he gets stuck into the bed, instead of blood, just be shit.
Yeah.
And at the end, you have a teacup Yorkie climb out like.
Yep, and all the souls of the kids around the bed. When the shit launches.
Shit sheets. Shit sheets.
Who's shitting my sheets? Raymond says Phantasm could be interesting. I think we're going to touch on that here in a little bit. Bear with us.
Yeah, kind of.
Kiara remembers Warm Bodies. That's good. Luke says The Wishmaster Part 2. Go fuck yourself, lawyer kill. One of the best and funniest kills in all movie cinema history. That one is pretty good. Here's an interesting one. Raymond says David Howard Thornton as Freddy.
I didn't want to take his glory. For me, I think he's too tall. I just think he's too tall.
He may be too skinny.
Nah, that can only help.
The acting wise, he's got it. I think he would nail it.
Oh, can you imagine what kind of voice he'd come up with for that?
I'm switching my vote to him. I want him as Freddy. I like that.
Yeah, can you imagine what kind of voice David would come up with for that too?
And also, we got to wait like when they do the Dylan's New Nightmares come in, and Dave McRae will be stepping into the shoes and fedora of Freddy Krueger. And we're excited as hell for that one, man. I think he's going to nail it.
Yeah.
At least I hope he does. And but all signs point to holy shit, this dude's crazy. So he'll be able to pull it off.
Right.
I think so.
BK says 13 Fanboy was on Showtime last night. He gave it a good 45 minutes till it was bedtime. Yeah. Not a fan, huh?
It's hit or miss.
Yeah,
it is a love letter, though. It's a love letter to those franchises and Friday in particular, and that's where you have to embrace it.
I get that. Luke says, honestly, I'd have Jackie Earle Haley come back with a better script. He was the least problematic part of the remake.
100%.
As much as I agree with you, I don't think he would come back.
Oh, fuck no. He'd be like, yeah, right. Why would he?
Yeah. I'll have to look this person up because I'm not exactly sure I know who it is. Cameron Monaghan from Shameless and Gotham playing Freddy for my pick. I'll have to look at that
guy who
person.
played the Joker in Gotham.
Yes.
If that's the Joker, then cool. Yeah, that could work. And he's definitely young.
Jerome.
There we go. Brucey. Red Crank should play Freddy. No. Too old. Too unathletic.
Yeah.
There'd be too many shots of me chasing after a victim and then being like, hold on.
Yep.
Trying to catch my breath. That
His claw trying to get an asthma inhaler to work.
hold on, need to smoke. Lorena says Gary Busey playing Freddy. No.
That was definitely nightmare inducing, though.
Yep. If I had my buzzer, I'd probably give that the buzzer.
BK says Footloose Freddy with Kevin Bacon. Jesus H. Christ. Yeah. No. I do agree with Luke on this one, though. Kevin Bacon does have that creep vibe to him. He could do it. See the movie Sleepers. I fucking love the movie Sleepers.
If you've seen Hollow Man, that one's pretty dark, too. He's dark. But yeah, Sleepers, oh, what a total child molester vibe. I mean, is there you go. You could use that footage as the fucking setup for it. Fuck's sake.
I love the movie Sleepers. I actually watched it like 2 nights in a row not too long ago because I had just bought it on digital to replace my DVD. And I watched it myself one night, and then a friend was over the next night, and I made her watch it. So, yeah.
Hold on, guys. I'll be back.
All right. Luke says the 2009 Friday remake doesn't deserve the hate it gets. I agree. Kiara loved the 2009 Jason. Bruce says, I think Red Crank would be magnificent. You're wrong. And Patricia confirms Cameron Monaghan was the Joker in Gotham. Yeah. And Kiara says, not a remake, but I'd love to see a reboot continuation of Trick or Treat. That was a fun little movie.
Are you kidding me? Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, Trick or Treat with Sammy Kerr, right?
I believe
And
so.
not Sammy, the little sucker.
Not the little doll.
Snackhead, yeah. That's good. I wonder how. Yeah, you could definitely do something with Sammy Kerr in the age of streaming. Definitely.
Right.
These are great ideas, guys. Fuck, I kind of kept it to the big ones in my list.
Brucey Kick says, I know it sounds weird, but what do you think about Jim Carrey? He's got that spooky vibe sometimes. I think he'd be too over the top. You couldn't rein him in enough to be a Freddy. Not like a seriously scary Freddy.
Couldn't be scary. I mean, even though he like the Cable Guy, he has some weird moments, like
right.
But I think he wouldn't be able to prevent it from going over the top, and over, what I'm saying, under all that makeup, you're still going to see Jim Carrey.
Exactly. All right. Well, we talked about Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm going to hit these 5 that S. Michael sent in that he would see, and then we'll get to Ziggy's weird conglomeration of reboots. But S. Michael says, Jaws, Peter Benchley's Jaws, a more direct adaptation of the novel. Interesting. Halloween Rising, a prequel showing young Michael in the weeks leading up to murdering his sister, as well as his adventures in the loony bin leading up to his escape. Interesting. 3, Evil Dead 1.5, a prequel to Evil Dead 2, showing what happened to the doctor and his wife and some very special guests. 2, Things, a legacy sequel to The Thing. Original actors rescued, returned to the station 40 years later for a big paycheck to assist with a and I don't have the rest of it. There it is. Okay, I got it here. To assist with a documentary funded by a scientist with sinister motives. And then Twilight of the Dead, George's lost script given the budget and talent level it deserves. They're working on that, though, aren't they?
I heard that's happening, but I haven't heard any movement on it lately. We can maybe ask around when we're down there around all those motherfuckers in a couple of, in a week here.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and Luke makes a good point. There are some movies you can't remake a reboot. Jaws might be one of them. I love the original Jaws. I know S. Michael does too. I know he's got a severe hard-on for that movie, and that's cool. But yeah, man, I don't know. Anyway, Ziggy, I have no idea what you're talking about because now you've confused me with the list that you sent and what you said before we went live. So I'm going to try to follow along as best I can with graphics and such.
Probably you can if you want to, but it's what I did is I thought, okay, we're going to restart all these franchises we're just pretending they hadn't been around in a while. I can do what I want. Perhaps maybe my version and vision is an animated version, something like that. Or if we have a fantasy budget where we can have all the actors, everybody's back, Bruce Campbell, let's say, and as Ash, something like that, then yeah, I'm all for that too. Any way you want to go with this, but here's my premise. Okay. In the vein of the old Universal crossovers, our story opens in medieval times as Ash Williams is hot on the trail of yet another set of missing pages from the Necronomicon, the Thorn chapter. An even rarer set of pages that
oh my God.
Yeah. That we'd never heard about before. And we find that standing in his way, we have Jason Voorhees has been brought here, as well as the tall man from Phantasm. Has been promised all the bodies of this whole what will transpire. Anybody that's dead, he wants the bodies. That's all he cares about. But he's also interested in the mastermind of who's orchestrating this. One Freddy Krueger is back from hell, and he is now in control and manipulating Michael Myers in Haddonfield. He's found a way to channel his immortality, as it were. The Curse of Thorn, as part of the Necronomicon, it's all in there. So, and of course, Jason's in there trying to stop them. He's dispatched Jason and the Tall Man. Tall Man's just working on his own thing, but Jason obviously is going to have his own ideas too. Not really follow the plan. But it's all about Freddy controlling Michael Myers, leading. The Thorn is going to have a big hinge on releasing hell on Earth. And this has to happen. Ash is onto it, and it will lead to a final showdown between Ash and Michael Myers. But it'll be all sorts of fun along the way. A pile of bodies, gallons of blood, intestines, entrails, everything will be there. Eyeballs, it's going to be great. But that's just like I didn't work out all the little details on who. I would have as many cameos as I could from all the other films coming back to support this, if I could get them in their legacy style. But if we had to reboot it and recast everybody, that might even be the best way to relaunch. If we're going to continue to try to get off of this and build on this, you'd go that way. If we're just doing this as a one kabang, one nuclear fucking bomb, then yeah, let's get everybody back that we possibly can that has dealt with these people in some capacity or another. Yes, I know, a logistical nightmare and mess, but we would sort this out. I'm telling you, this would be an interesting story. I have a great ending for it, but I'm sitting on it because you never know. You never know. But that's what I did with this. That's where I was with all this. After hearing Colonel go and stuff, I saw a couple of his other choices. I would have totally just done one sequel. It would have been fucking so much easier. I mean, I would have done One Dark Night, stuff like that. Brought it in and some really, actually Demon Knight. I thought of a good idea, a good sequel for that one without Billy Zane. And it would have been probably pretty good. But this is the way I went, and doing all the big ones, the big 4 or 5 as it were. Fuck, you could bring Leatherface and the Sawyer family in there. There's a way with that too. But, I mean, it all hinges on the Curse of Thorn and what that is. And that would be mine. So there it is.
Oh, my God. Okay. That's a lot to take in.
I
So
told you, yes.
would this be one movie combining all 5 of these to kickstart it? Or would it just primarily
Yes.
focus on one but then tease the next one at the end, like an Avengers?
We're almost like we're coming at you with the Avengers fucking Endgame first, almost. You know what I mean? We're gonna get maybe 2 movies, let's say, to get this kicked off, but then we've got our other characters can now continue the stories where they're at and what they're doing and where they're going. You know, they'll be sent back to their proper places at the end of this thing. You know, like I said, you got to see what I'm talking about with why the Curse of Thorn is so. It's much more significant than it is in fucking Halloween 6. That's for fucking sure.
Wow. That's quite involved.
It's a mess. It is, but it does work. When I went through the whole thing, it does work, and it's like, all right, you know, all right.
Man, you took the literal dream idea and ran with it, because you're looking at legal disputes, actors that are dead, like all of that, and you were just like, Yahtzee, fuck that, we're moving on.
I don't care. They said I could have them dead or alive. I'm definitely putting the Tall Man in my fucking movie.
That's crazy.
But we're gonna get Reggie. We're gonna get Michael if the Phantasm. You know, we're gonna get Nancy coming back. We're getting fucking John Saxon coming back. We're gonna get Laurie fucking Strode. We're getting Tommy the right way this time. Not that evil dies tonight bullshit. And of course, Ash J. Williams and his chainsaw of peace and justice. And Jason, of course. Jason, I didn't give too much love to Jason in this one because he's just he's going to be a little bit more sophisticated and a little more intimidating than he was in Freddy versus Jason. He's not playing the simpleton in this one. He's going to turn. He does his thing, and he waits. He picks his moment. That's when he shines. He will shine in his area.
That's bizarre. Colonel, you got any comments or questions about this?
From what I was able to hear, that sounds very interesting. And, someone has an idea for. Go ahead, Zoe.
Hey, Zoe.
Jason is a zombie.
That's what you said you wanted to tell him.
He's a zombie? I love it. What a great idea.
Let's run with it and make it.
You're gonna
when
do
he
it.
takes off his hockey face, he's like a half zombie and a half Jason.
I love it. That would be so scary.
That works for me. Now, there's probably going to be some jerk off in the comments. Like, he's not a zombie, he's a deadite, or something like that. No, stop that.
Zoe, that is a great idea.
Are you done with your ideas? Can Daddy talk? Okay. Well, here's a good one. Like I said, before I get judged shamelessly by people, she knows the characters. Obviously, too little to watch the movies. What movie did you say you want to see? Jason versus who? Who do you want Jason to fight?
Jason faces Freddy Krueger.
She doesn't even know exists, folks. She don't watch these. So there you go.
I think we can make that happen.
Yeah. She's in for a surprise in about another 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Zoe,
Hold on.
who do you think would win between Freddy and Jason?
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, pick one.
Who would win in the fight, Jason or Freddy?
Jason.
That's right.
That's right.
That's when the
Gotta
girl
do it again.
can't go upstairs with sister now. You watch a movie?
What's funny is when she finds out that movie came out, like in
Yeah,
2004.
that's what he
Dad,
said.
why didn't you?
They got to show her this tape. Like, oh,
And stay with me, though. You can't.
Right.
Much okay. I gotta talk.
All right, let me hit some of the comments while.
Yeah. I'm sure I got a little bit of hate in there. Let's have it.
I don't know if you did yet. Kiara says, I'd love to see a remake or continuation of Stay Alive that came out in, she thinks, 2006.
Mm.
Gaming and horror are two of my favorite things, so that movie will forever be a part of my childhood. Kiara, have you started playing Evil Dead online yet? Let us know. Let us know if you have.
I don't know. She doesn't seem too frustrated or hostile on her post, so she must not be playing it 'cause that fucking game kills me.
Yeah, real quick. That was another movie I was thinking about adding to my list. Not that movie in particular. Brain Scan.
Ah,
The VR and everything right now. I think that's due for a good reboot.
Oh, yeah. All right. Luke says, personally, I'd love a redo attempt at Shocker. That had a promising premise that could have taken off. Yeah.
good one.
And
How about,
Goth's here. Hey, what's up, Purple Goth? Finally got a day off.
welcome back.
What were you going to ask, Siggy?
I was going to say, what about Videodrome now in the world of,
Mm-hmm.
like you could take it to the dark web, you know, and there's something there. But,
Or there's a dark streamer.
right, you know,
Like-
I mean, totally. I mean, it's just begging to be done. I would bring Colonel in on this one. He's a big fan of that one. So
Right.
Videodrome.
I think that's due for a good one. That's
but-
like the streaming services. I mean,
Yeah,
if
but
you
the
see
dark
HBO Max and stuff, I even stay away from the dark web because it's kind of like cable. All the things you see on cable. Now the streaming services, you get away with a lot more shit. Like some pretty adult-rated
But
content.
not a snuff film though. Nobody's showing fucking that.
But
on
you
those
could
things.
if you wanted to.
Hmm.
It's a paid, you really could.
Well, yeah, behind the paywall, I guess that would be an angle. There you go.
I haven't looked, but I'm almost sure there's a streaming service with all kinds of fucking porn and shit.
What was that movie where somebody with like the more views they got, that's when bad shit was happening? Was that wasn't Stay Alive? No,
No.
is that one of the Saws? No. There's like there's one where someone's like sitting in a jar of acid and stuff, and the more people that watch, the more that pours in the solution, it's melting him away, and then he ends up he's just a skeleton in there.
I don't remember that one right
Someone
now.
knows what I'm talking about.
Ziggy, you got a question for us from S. Michael. How would you feel about modern remakes of Fulci's greatest hits? And would you prefer them to be Italian or Americanized?
Yeah, really went through the Fulci and the Bava and the Argento stuff, and to me, as an American, I don't think those can be Americanized. There's something about them that makes them that way. I mean, yeah, they're Italian made, obviously, but I mean, just nobody's ever done that like that. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just strange. I couldn't do it. I couldn't think of a way to, I mean, yeah, obviously I could bring back Father Thomas and the Gates of Hell and run with that. Oh yes. Give me a fucking, 5 minutes. I'll have you something for that. But I know the Beyond too, it'd be easy. But I mean, should they? I don't know, man. It's like I hold this a little bit more fucking sacred than I do than some of these major ones from my own country. Very strange.
I don't think they should do it, even if they could. Because let's be honest here, Americanized version, they're gonna fucking run. No. One, no. Two, Fulci, especially Fulci, he had a thing for the gore, the eyes, so on and so forth. It's gonna be all fucking CGI. I don't care how shitty they look, especially the spiders and the Beyond. I know it looks fucking awful.
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda. It's part of the charm, though. I mean,
that is part of the charm. They would take that away from it.
Why does it sound like it sounds like a tree branch scratching on aluminum siding when the spiders are walking in too? And the Gates of Hell, like the sounds of the fucking jungle, the monkeys and stuff, and the hell's going on, But again, I wouldn't have it any other way with those.
By the way, folks, coming to Death Curse Society in the next few weeks, the spin-off show, the Zoe Show, or she's going to have her own spin-off.
They'd probably get more views. If we say they're opening up a fucking toy, we'd be millionaires right now.
Hey, Raymond says, Ziggy, you're missing the party that Jack Torrance is throwing.
There's a ton of stuff. I went over The Shining. I went over, there was a few of the Stephen King, like Christine could probably do something with that.
They are getting ready to do a new Christine, I think.
Yeah, I see that, and I don't know. Like I said, I just went. Everyone knows the big ones, so I went with the big ones. But shit, I would love to do One Dark Night. Obviously, would be a huge something I would enjoy doing.
How about Near Dark?
Which one?
A new Near Dark.
Near Dark, yeah, with the vampire. There's one you could recast, and it would still be awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Luke says definitely keep it Italian. That's his opinion. Kiara says a Prowler remake would be fun. That motherfucker was so scary to me when I was younger. Patricia says Rawhead Rex definitely needs a remake. S. Michael says I could get down with Ziggy's Horror Cinematic Universe, the HCU. But I think it would be better as a comic book series.
Or an animated series, I think, would be a lot easier to produce and get it out. But man, you could really, with a couple of great artists in there, it'd be fucking amazing.
And then Zoe getting some love. Hey, Zoe, that's an awesome idea, Unicorn Girl. Jason versus Freddie Mercury.
There we go.
Kind of fun. That'd be kind of fun. And she is cuter than a bucket of puppies.
Well, thank you. Sorry, she knows it, but she's gone for now.
Yep. Brain Scan is one of Luke's favorite '90s movies. Kiara is hoping to buy Evil Dead in the next 2 weeks. Lorena agrees on the Giallo. There was a certain feel to them that couldn't be replicated now. Luke says Martyrs is a great example of a messed up French movie that was better than an Americanized version. Absolutely. Soundtrack was great too. S. Michael, DCS Jr. There's an idea. Muppet Babies, but it's Jason, Freddy, Michael, Leatherface, Pinhead.
We discussed doing that.
We have actually talked about DCS Jr. Because eventually no one's going to want to, 20 years down the road, no one's going to want to listen to a bunch of 60 and 70-year-old bastards talking about horror movies.
I'll be in my 50s still.
Shut up. You're still with us. Anyway.
Right.
So we thought, our kids might be able to carry it on at that point. But if they're even into horror, who knows? I know they probably will be, but we'll see.
I don't know. My oldest is... She's rebelling against dad. Horror's not cool. That
Nothing you say will be cool. You got to use the reverse psychology and go, yeah, you're right. I'm
Right.
down with that Z-pop there.
Yeah, BTS is the shit.
Right.
That's what I said. I
You
love
need to start. You bust into one BTS routine, bro, in that house, you're cured for life. She'll never listen to it again.
It's better than her listening to WAP, man. Just telling you.
Please videotape it.
Oh, give us another one of yours, because I guess Ziggy's is
Yeah,
all done.
like I said, that's it. That's all. I did those all together. I mean, I could take you somewhere with Texas Chainsaw. Could take you somewhere with One Dark Night, Demon Knight.
Well, I might have to bring somebody back because she was requesting us to talk about Leatherface.
Ah,
Again, remind people she doesn't know Freddy vs. Jason exists. She knows the characters, not the movies. Don't be sending child services in my house. She's fine. We watch unicorns and shit. All right. So another one I would love to see, and this one, man, it just has to be another small, low-budget, independent film. I'm not even talking fan film. Just because I really want a sequel to this. And it's so overdue for a sequel. Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. We need part 2! Damn it. So here's how I would do it. I would almost go Halloween 2 style with this. You know, he gets up in the morgue, you know, it's like Killer's plan, he gets up. We can go Halloween 2, we can go fucking Friday 13th part 4 with this. Just one long night. It fucking continues. This is where he cements his legacy as the new killer, the new slasher. He just runs through people. The chick escaped, his final girl, she's gone. He finds a new final girl. Huh? Same night.
Right.
Continue that way. He's all charred and fucked up and everything.
mashed applehead. A
Yeah.
straight slasher for Leslie Vernon, huh?
Yes. No more mockumentary, none of that shit. A straight slasher. All right, you know, we got to stay in the vein of, you know, Leslie Vernon. Maybe he, you know, comes across, like, you know, he kills somebody and looks in the back. You see Michael Myers, like he's been stalking him. He just goes,
Or
you know, you got to have shit like that. You got to still make it a comedy. Yeah, give him the bird.
yeah, to break the fourth wall once in a while, like maybe
Yeah.
does something cool and not give the camera a wink or something. I can dig that. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to have something like that. But I want a direct sequel, no reboot, nothing.
Okay.
This has to be made. I know I broke the rules on this one, but I don't care.
Broke the
This
rules.
is a movie I want to see.
There really were no. I mean, I think we thought about rules, but yeah, there are no rules for this. I mean, this is just dream scenarios. What would you
Yeah.
like to see? We're not saying any of this is ever going to actually happen, but what would you like to see?
This is what we would. You know,
So,
I, like I
this
said,
is high on my fucking list of what I would like to see over here.
Interesting.
hey, dude, you know I'm down. I like me some.
Oh, I know you're fucking down. I'm kind of surprised Grant didn't see your list. I'm surprised he wasn't in your multiverse of madness.
Fuck, he would fit wonderfully.
Man, I wish that phrase wasn't taken now.
I know. What do you think? Oh, Zag's multiverse of murder.
Multiverse of murder.
Interesting.
Slash-
Now, hey, and actually, I think somebody even commented about this. Luke says, wait, I think that had been done. Behind the Mask got no love when it came out, around the time that Hatchet came out.
No, what happened?
They wanted a movie, but they couldn't do it, so they made a comic book series. What was the comic book series like?
The comic book series is called Before the Mask, and it is a prequel to Behind the Mask, and it shows him kind of meeting, you know, the I forgot the other guy's name, Scott, the actor. Shit, the old guy.
I don't know. Two motherfuckers will forever known as Herschel.
Herschel. Yeah, well, he's Herschel in The Walking Dead, but he's like his mentor in Behind the Mask.
Right.
And but it shows him kind of learning behind and everything, and then it's cool though. It would have made a great fucking movie, that's for sure. But they did tweak some things out after they realized the crowdfunding just completely flopped for this somehow. Even after the greatness that is Behind the Mask, I'm still, it upsets me because we weren't really doing this back then when that happened.
Mhm.
So we had no way to get any word out with it, But I mean, we've talked to Scott Glosserman, the director and writer. We've talked to Nathan Basil and got, that's how we learned about the comics and everything. So, but it's what a fucking shame because this guy, in my opinion, could stand with any of the big ones, man. And he's designed that way. And he's got a good look. He's cool. And I mean, the whole fucking premise of the first one was cool. How it's a documentary when the cameras suddenly turn and it becomes a traditional slasher. I mean, no one did anything like that ever. It's cool.
Like I said, I just don't understand. I know more people are starting to, where it seems like more people are starting to recognize this film. It's just fuck, man. I hate to say it. I almost be afraid if they maybe did try to do a Kickstarter to make the sequel to this. Would people really even give to it?
Oh, the editor.
Yeah, show it off, you son of a bitch.
There you go.
Go fuck yourself, Zach.
Yes.
Is that the figure?
Oh, this is something Colonel and I, one of the first horror hounds we ever went to, we saw it. It was just sitting there up on a shelf. This is the thing that happened to me 3 fucking times at this last one, Colonel, so I don't want to hear it. We know now. When you see it, you got to grab it because that shit's gone.
Well, dude, go ahead. Sorry.
We did a lap. We did one lap. We said, okay, we'll come back. Let's just see what else they got around. There might be something better. You just don't know. And we got back around. Motherfucker's gone.
Yeah.
So Colonel stuck out because he claimed it.
Yeah. I learned the hard way on that. I learned the hard way again. Even this past horror hound, there was a vendor that was selling all kinds of shit he made. He had magnets, fridge magnets of the mask. Pretty cool. I'm like, yeah, but it's a fridge magnet. And if it's still there on Saturday, I'll pick one up. Why the fuck? Fuck no. I'm like, what the hell?
I sought that one out. I went to eBay and I actually paid I ended up paying like $60 for it. So I don't know what they go for now. I don't care. It was one that I love it. I immediately went right out and I bought the comics, and I bought the whole set. They sent me one comic. I was like, uh-oh, what the fuck, So I said, hey, listen, I only, my invoice says everything's checked off. I got one book. They sent me all the rest, including the 6th one, which I hadn't even paid for, as like a whoops, our bad. So they gave me the one that they didn't even have offered on their store yet. And then she sent me an email saying, hey, we're going to be restocking this soon. And it was already there before I even ordered it. She was like, so I was like, yep, I'll be taking care of that this week. She's like, hold that thought. The next day, the books all arrived. Cool fucking people. I'm going to fuck up the publisher now. Glen Eden Press is if you want to get the comic books. They have them all there.
There you go.
You can get the prequel to Behind the Mask if you're into Leslie Vernon at all, like we are.
I was going to say, do you need to get your readers to be able to make that out?
I just had, of course, they write it in the microscopic text at the bottom of the comics and shit. So I'm like going,
squint.
Yep.
Waiting for him to bring out a magnifying glass, like.
Yep.
Kiara says Behind the Mask was one of the funniest slashers she ever watched. Absolutely. Purple Goth says she's not bad, just eating eggs like the film Angel Heart. That would be a great remake.
Angel Heart.
Yeah, that would be. I think it'd be hard to recast the devil. Like we discussed in the past. I thought Robert De Niro killed it.
It's one of the finest portrayals of
Lucifer.
Kiara says, I'd love to see a Death Tunnel 2005 remake. I remember watching that as a child, and it's stuck with me ever since. 5 girls, 5 hours, 4 girls, 4 hours, and so on.
5
I don't think I've seen that.
5 hours.
I don't think I know that one. I'll have to look that up. Luke says, people want things that are different than don't like it when it is. I didn't like Behind the Mask at first, but now I love it. And I guess
problem, Luke.
Right. Then I think his storms are getting close. It's about as dark as a haunted house here. Big storms coming. Time to throw a bottle of Jack Daniels at the sky. Don't get all Loki on him.
That's a Twister reference.
I know. I'm aware.
All right. You're in Oklahoma. You should.
That's an Oki reference, really. The Twister used.
I'm sorry, a what reference?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma! Oklahoma! Oh, my ass meat!
Luke also says that mask reminds me of Corey Taylor's mask from like 5 years ago. He stole the idea, of course.
I remember when it first came out, I had heard of it, but I didn't get to see it in its very limited theatrical run. And then I was like, people were saying like, "Man, you got to see this movie. This fucking movie's crazy." You know, it's like it's a documentary, mockumentary, and then gets fucking real. And I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" So, and then and the tributes, you'll love it. So, and then all right, fuck, I finally rented it. I loved it. I fucking loved it. You know, I had to own it immediately.
Here's one more that Kiara thinks would be a good one. Dark Knight of the Scarecrow, a simple revenge movie from the 80s. I have a feeling it wasn't as popular, but I feel like it deserves a remake with people with good ideas behind it. Yeah, that could be a good one, actually.
Remake or sequel?
Yeah, either way. Ziggy, you got nothing else, right?
I got nothing else. Like I said, I can shoot off the hip. Get you a Raymar story, like after the events of One Dark Night.
All right. Well, I guess I will jump in and do my take on John Carpenter's Halloween. Obviously, Blumhouse and Universal Pictures and David Gordon Green are doing their thing, and that's supposed to be wrapped up here later this year. So what can we do with Halloween after that? Are we going to get a completely new reboot? Are they going to continue the story minus Jamie Lee Curtis and just focus on Andy Matichak's character? Is that where we're going with this after Halloween ends? Maybe. Halloween, to me, is one of the few franchises that I think could have a true multiverse. You could have different timelines going. And my thought is, since every fucking time they talk about they're going to remake a Halloween movie or add another new Halloween movie, well, not everybody, but 40% of the fans start screaming for, well, you better put Danielle Harris in it. Okay, well, let's do a timeline with Jamie Lloyd's character and bring that back. You know, let's do a timeline with Season of the Witch and bring that back. Let's see a sequel to that or a prequel to that or however you want to do it. I just think this is one of those that you could have legacy sequels. If you wanted to continue Rob Zombie's Halloweens, you really couldn't because it was pretty much over after 2, I think. But you could do something. I wouldn't worry with Rob Zombies, but I think that's one of those you could have multiple timelines in. And even, again, I'll go back to the streaming service again. Why not have like an anthology Halloween series that Season of the Witch was supposed to kind of be like, and that's like another, you know, it just somehow ties together to the main storylines that are out there. I think you could do something like that. Again, I'm not in charge, so I'll never get a chance to do that. And I can't really say too much more about that, but I mean,
I think I would love to see Jamie Lloyd back again, and maybe that's because I don't think we're at all done with the Halloween franchise. Blumhouse, yes, this is the end of it for them. They're out of the Halloween business after this film. I think that's what it was. It was 3 and out with the licensing and all that. So we'll see.
It'd be kind of cool. I like your idea. Maybe even if you didn't do a web series, have John Carpenter host a film called like Halloween, The Lost Tales, and you can have a story with Jamie Lloyd in it, and you can have a continuation of part 3. Hell, you can even, have the Thorn thing continue. Pretty much cover everything in one movie. Even, Daddy Uncle fucking Michael Myers, man, like that baby from 6 has grown up. Maybe that restarts the cycle. You can end the film that way. You can open it up to a sequel if you want to do another timeline or stuff where that baby that he made with his niece.
Right.
Not bad.
But that's the new shape.
I don't know if I would include 6 in any of my continuations. I would probably just jump off from 4. I may not even work with 5. But Luke does say, I'm crazy here, but I love the Insanity Thorn timeline. You could do another timeline that kicks off from 5 and follows, explains more of the Thorn stuff. Goes deeper into it. I see a problem with that. I don't know if I see where you're going with 6. I don't know. I would necessarily write that, but why not? Why not?
I just took the Thorn element out of it. That's really all I wanted from that.
Luke also says you could do a sequel to Resurrection where Michael is the webcam guy with an OnlyFans. Is that how he's making his money? Good Lord, Luke.
Don't get me started on that. Kudos anybody wants to do it. But I have financial questions I would answered for anybody that does that. Literally, I'm not judging you on what you do for your line of work. I am totally open-minded. Sex work is real work. I agree with that. Sure, why not? But I have financial questions, healthcare questions. I have legit boring ass grown-up questions. Are you putting your money away? You paying for your health insurance? What's this? That's the questions I have about that shit.
So before Colonel opens up his OnlyFans page, you guys got to help him out with this, and then you'll be able to enjoy him on a daily basis in precarious situations.
Yikes. All right. Kiara says, with all the remake reboots aside, I feel like we need a new generation of slashers and horror. New characters, new ideas, and new horror icons. You can only reboot things so much so far, and all of our favorites can't do things forever, unfortunately. They are all getting older. I love that, but do you know how hard it is to create a new horror icon in this day and age?
Yeah, especially with horror fans. We're fucking just so nostalgic in these characters.
Well,
I really thought Victor Crowley had a chance to really fucking blow up. He really didn't. Art the Clown had high expectations, hoping he blows the fuck up. But we've seen how much hard time they have with distribution alone. Finding distribution alone for Terrifier 2. So it's who knows, man? I agree. We need new icons. It needs I don't know.
I would agree with you, and Colonel just said 2 of them. I mean, Hatchet, yeah, whatever. I mean, Hatchet, I think that's still more in the vein of the traditional style slashers and stuff, the story, that kind of killer out, kind of half, crazy and half, just animal almost.
Right.
But just Leslie Vernon was another one I thought totally could stand up there with him. But Art the Clown, for fuck sure. I mean, he stole that one right out of my brain. He's probably the closest thing we've got to a new horror icon where I really think he's going to stick around and stand just based on what he is and how he's really fucking forged it out, man.
Is he? Because look at how much trouble they had just getting the second one made.
I understand that, but I mean, once it's out and people see it, it's just now it's another. It's 20. So what, we're on 5-6 years since the first one,
right?
So I mean, he's still the hardcore people know all about him. The ones that have been around, and now it's gonna hit another whole new group of people and shit. I think this is the rival of Art the Clown.
See, here's what I think also hurts the establishment of new horror icons. When the majority of these slasher icons, when the majority of the movies come out, the 80s, the VHS boom, that's long fucking gone. You know how hard it is now? I mean, you're going to get your shit on Tubi and barely make any money, and that's if people, like I said, it's a lot harder. You don't have the masses. You don't have to put, a kick-ass cover, and every video store has it, and everybody, oh man, that's fucking awesome. That looks cool. Let me check this out. You don't have that anymore. It's eventually, we all know, you keep scrolling. Eventually, you're gonna stop scrolling. Fuck this. Right, you'll go to the horror section. I'll use Tubi again. Fuck, there's so many fucking movies.
And the only
eventually you stop. Huh?
and the only mainstream horror that you've got going on anymore, has to have James Wan's name in front of it somewhere.
Yeah.
That
Blumhouse.
has any chance. Or Blumhouse, yeah, I guess. But hell, I'm getting pissed off with Blumhouse because of like everything they're doing are reboots and different IPs now. And
Well, the thing
I'm
is,
getting
like,
pissed off at Blumhouse.
the Conjuring, Sinister, and all that shit like that. That's not. There's not. This isn't about like a killer or an iconic character. That's, you know what I mean? Yeah, the Nun, okay, but still, it's not all about the fucking Nun.
no, but the Conjuring universe has like some central characters in it. So
Yes,
the Warrens, obviously.
but they're not. It's still not, centralized around that as that's going to be the catalyst, and this is the, absolutely the villain of the story. So,
I have high hopes for Terrifier 2. I hope it does just knock the doors off, and is one of the most talked about movies of the year. I just don't think it will. I think it'll have kind of a lackluster financial success, but our groups that we follow online will be talking all about it, but it's not going to break into like just your mainstream friends talking about it much. But yeah, a brand new horror icon would be great. Kiara, send me a treatment. Let's make it happen. I need 12 pages by Tuesday. Just kidding. Dang, how far back did we go here? Okay. And Kiara says, imagine having to create a picture of the Halloween timeline if all this were to happen. Good Lord. Actually, I did draw this out at one point. So I got my whiteboard out and fucked around with that for a little while. And yeah, it was a web of a mess. That's for sure. Luke says, the Thorn timeline is ridiculous. I get that, but the darkness that Part 6 is one of the darkest sequels. It's pretty out there. Probably why I love some of the worst rated sequels. Jason Goes to Hell being one of my favorites. Yeah.
he just had to change so much with 6. And it was re-edited half a dozen times before we got that version we saw. That producer's cut is out there. That's way different, and I don't know. The movie was plagued, and then Loomis dying didn't help before they really got it finished.
Yeah. Kiara says, that's the hardest part. Being in the younger generation, I feel so connected to the elder icons. I am not going to be okay when certain icons pass away. I will bawl my eyes out even if I'm at work. I don't care. Yeah. There's a few that we're going to lose here in the next 10 years, probably, or less. And yeah, it's going to suck. So
I mean, fucking Days of the Dead 2 weeks ago, they had Ian McKellen was there from Zombie. And he's fucking 78 years old now, and I was like, fuck, man. I mean, that's almost worth going there just to meet a guy that was in Zombie, Fuck.
Yeah. BK says, fade to black, except he plays all the big horror icons. That could be fun. A legal nightmare, but that could be fun.
Yeah, I mean, that could be, you could rework fade to black to this day and age, for sure. For sure.
Kiara says, got it, Crank. I'll write myself in as the final girl. There you go. I like that idea even more. Luke says, the most important thing is the more commercially successful horror is, it helps the entire horror genre. Reminds me of Metallica. I hate what they do now, but their success helps metal bands still stay in business. Agree.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, you have to put out some Blumhouse style successful horror to get a chance to have better, lesser mainstream horror. But the people that knock themselves out defending like Happy Death Day or the Blumhouse movie that shall not be mentioned, and call that like some of the greatest cinema they've ever seen. They obviously haven't seen that much cinema. They're like 14, but
easy to see through people that when you see stuff like that, it's
right.
I just know I'm not gonna trust your opinion if you say something like that when we all know better.
I'm like Jordan Peele's movies. I'm glad his movies came out and caused conversations, and people were talking about them when they came out, regardless if it was good or bad. And they were mostly successful, financially successful, I think. So that's good. And I know a lot of people are either looking very forward to or planning to completely avoid Nope when it comes out in July. And that's just the way it goes. Yeah, I'm game for it, Luke. I get it. I hope Black Phone goes phenomenally well here in a couple weeks. So we'll see. A couple more comments, and we'll get to another one here from Colonel. I would like to see more female slasher characters. I enjoy the characters from Sleepaway Camp. Happy Birthday to Me and Night of the Demons. Absolutely. Why not? No problem with that whatsoever. And Luke says, no, I get that, but the success causes companies to put money into their own investments. The success helps for good or bad. I completely agree. You got me there. All right. Colonel.
Okay.
You got another one?
It's going to get late. I do have another one. The final one for the night. Super duper 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 cult classic on fucking this one. Okay. Lorena, if you're still watching, you're probably going to hate me for what I'm about to say.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Sorry, Lorena.
Lorena, I know me and you are about the only two people all right, and one other person I know that even know what this movie is and fucking loves it. Spider Baby.
What?
Exactly. Most people are like, what? It's always been remade before, a little bit, in a little movie called House of a Thousand Corpses. Not totally, but definitely had Spider Baby vibes to it. It even had the great late Sid Haig in it, and a very young Sid Haig, I might add. As people don't know, pretty much it's like this family. They have this disease where the older they get, the younger they are mentally, and they're kind of homicidal. All right, possibly even cannibalistic. So I think this one we're doing a direct fucking sequel. All right, I know supposedly they killed off the bloodline, and this, no. We're going, fuck. 60 years into the future here, there's another branch of this fucking family lives out in the middle of fucking nowhere. And, okay, then essentially from there it becomes another fucking direct fucking remake. You have these people going, traveling across country. We've seen a tale told 1,000 fucking times. So the car breaks down, whatever, they're looking for a phone. They find this fucking house out in the middle of fucking nowhere, and boom, insanity ensues. It's gonna be fucking great. No relative this time is trying to cash in, get the fucking money. None of that. Horror mode. And this, we have so much fucking gore in this. Okay, like in the original, you saw a little bit of gore. You seen the piece of clay that was supposed to be a guy's ear, a little bit of ketchup underneath it. I mean, that's about all you really got.
Wow.
I'm telling you, this movie, like, again, it's such a cult classic. If they did this, there would be no fucking fuss. No one's going to be like, oh, you can't remake Spider Baby.
No, more people would be like, what the hell is Spider Baby? Is that a remake?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Spider Baby.
Oh, wait.
Exactly.
That's why I think this one's perfect for it. And the story's there. The foundation has been laid. It just took 60 years later, to build the rest of the fucking house. It could be done. It could be great.
Colonel's got kind of a style here for like getting these things launched, and then it's a straight up fucking turns into a straight slasher, fucking the way it should have been. I love it.
I'm telling you, perfect. And people are with me on this one. This is the one I stand behind the most. That, well, Leslie Vernon, we all know that needs to be made. It probably won't happen.
Yeah.
This is the one where you can pretty much Blumhouse buy this fucking IP, okay? But do it right. I know A24 Studio maybe buy the rights to this and pick someone to fucking do it. As much as I'm not a big fan of A24, I think that studio would hire the right person to really do a fucked up version of Spider Baby.
I was gonna say that's
more Blumhouse with this property.
Yeah, Blumhouse, they would turn it into like a game show or something.
Yeah, it'd be like a PG-13 fucking film. It would fucking suck. I trust A24 a hard rated R. Get that fucking Thai dude that just did X, man. Let him do Spider Baby.
Or maybe even on a cheaper budget like RLJE films.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I know. I won't steal the. There's another person that can do it. I'm not going to say it because Luke already said it, so I'm not. I think that director would do a good job at it. Grant, we already kind of seen his idea of a remake of it.
Oh, damn, yeah.
A little bit.
That's here. Patricia says, love Spider Baby.
Yeah.
Shame Virginia died so young in real life.
Yep.
Tarek's here. He almost missed the whole damn show. Sup, Tarek?
So,
Oh, he didn't miss much, buddy.
yeah, it's a Memorial Day where,
Into the Babyverse. That's right.
Yeah.
I like that one. Luke says he hadn't seen that movie in years, but he's surprised Rob Zombie hasn't remade Spider Baby since he's got a song about that movie. Good point.
Like I said, he kind of did House of 1,000 Corpses a little bit. I got Spider Baby vibes, especially from the character Baby, the way she kind of had like a adolescence tone to her voice and her laugh. I was like, okay, he's ripping off Spider Baby with that one. I think we all kind of picked up on that, if you even know what Spider Baby was. But
And S. Michael, of course, has to just go dive down into the dregs of society with this last comment. Those VHS low-budget porno knockoffs really missed some great opportunities. Jaws 69 featuring Ron Jeremy as the shark. Debbie Does Elm Street. The Huge Thing. Halloween. Texas Sex Toy Massacre. The possibilities were endless. Could have made millions. Lasai. Wow.
He's not lying, though. He has a point.
The Huge Thing. That's fucking funny.
Halloween.
That one and Texas Sex Toy Massacre. I'm pretty sure that's been done.
Yeah,
And Kiara says, I feel obligated to watch Spider Baby now. Never seen it. It's from the 60s?
From the 60s, yes. I think you should watch it, Kiara. I mean, even the song is sung by Lon Chaney Jr. at the beginning. And it just has such a 60s creepy Halloween vibe. I fucking love it, man. Love the movie. Probably what is that? I mean, that's a tall order. I'll still say it's probably my second favorite film from the 60s. I'll put it above Rosemary's Baby, but I won't put it above Night of the Living Dead.
Luke says, A Wet Dream on Elm Street.
Oh.
You guys
Yeah, what is wrong with you people? I love you all. Anyway, all right. Well, Colonel, nice poll on the Spider Baby. And I knew you were going to do Monster Squad because that was kind of what inspired me to even throw this topic out there. But
I should have done Monster Squad. I should have been like, fuck you guys.
I'd have been like, no, I put the graphic in and everything. You got to do it.
Well,
the one
you could always do. I thought maybe remaking or a sequel to Hard Rock Zombies, but how could you when it was already perfection? I'm not going to play it. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Oh, you want me to play it? All right.
Morte on Sandre, amen.
I just give you the little bit of the chant at the beginning.
Oh, I was already set in for the whole 45-second clip. Just
just imagine we could get nice updated songs if we made a sequel to that, a legacy sequel to Hard Rock Zombies. Wow. Now we're talking here.
They'd have to have a fucking legacy to get one. What are you talking about?
Nobody would know what it was.
Nobody would. I don't even. Yeah, none of those people are in it still acting. I don't think they ever did beyond that movie.
I could be the choreographer, I guess. Just
You could do that.
Leave that in.
You could do that. The big one that we haven't even touched upon yet, and it would be difficult to do, obviously, because of the lawsuits and everything else, is Friday the 13th. We have barely even talked about it. Ziggy included Jason and his multiverse of murder. Is that what we called it?
Yeah, somebody said something. The horrorverse or something.
Right. But my thoughts on this is I would love to have a 13th movie, and I've written it, a 13th movie that brings back all the final girls, any of the survivors, and pretty much closes that story, but still reboots like a new story. I would like a 13th movie, though, that ties all the rest of, or all the previous films, minus the remake, of course, but still a 13th that just sinks it in, and that one's done. Well, and I'll go into it. Like the mayor of Crystal Lake now is this rich little piece of shit kid whose parents had more money than they know what to do with. So he has bought all of Crystal Lake and much of the town and has turned it into a tourist attraction. And he's trying to cash in on those people like us, kind of, that are into the true crime and want to go and visit the sites where mass murders happen. And that's where it starts. And he pays off a bunch of the, survivors to come back. Some are reluctant, some don't. Some do. Some want the paycheck, some don't want anything to do with it, but they're brought back through other circumstances. I've pretty much written this. It's not perfect. It needs work. I'm aware of this, but I think that would be a good ending. Plus, it would, and it, based on the timeline now, it's been 30-something years since anything has happened. If you were to film it in 2022, it's been 30-something years since anything really happened in Crystal Lake.
So you're ignoring X as well, then.
Well, X kind of zooms off.
Oh, so you're going to break in between, say, 9 and X.
There would be a mention of X, but it would be kind of. Most of X takes place in front, like in the future. So
yeah, way in the future. I mean,
yeah.
Well, see, if I was to incorporate all films, I'm not saying yours is a bad idea by any means. Yours is probably a way better idea than I had. And I've seen this mentioned before. Why not just do Crystal Lake 2.0, like Earth version 2?
Earth 2.
Earth 2. I mean, start fresh there. But then you have to incorporate fucking Mecha fucking Jason, and I hate that look so fucking much.
Mecha Jason or Mecha Jason?
Mecha Jason. I'm gonna get the motherfuckers with the Mecha Jason. Oh. But anyway, on a more serious note, unless they incorporate 9, where his little worm comes out of that body, and he gets another body, then he can look like proper Jason again.
There's a mention of 9 as well. You've read it, haven't you? I sent it to you like years ago. I mean, like I said, it's work.
Because once you said what you said at the beginning, I remember what happens at the beginning.
Yeah.
So.
I need to pare it down still by about 40 pages or so, but it's a little long. Along with that, though, again, I'll go to a streaming service and do a series. And our friends Dave Brown and Westbound are doing a Pamela prequel.
Yeah.
I would do a Pamela series too. kind of tell us about that story. Do one season of it basically, and that's it. In between some of the movies that you're relaunching or whatever. Another series I want to see is the mental health hospital, not Pinehurst, but wherever Jenny goes after 2. Where does Chris go after 3? And where does young Tommy and Trish go after 4? It's all the same weekend, basically. They're all going to go to the same place. I would love to see like 3 new characters like tell a story about what happened, what happened immediately after that in that hospital. Like, that would be fascinating to me.
Yeah, that's not bad. I think that would make it interesting. And I'm a fucking mark for bringing back any kind of legacy, any characters from the series. So,
right,
that'd be cool though. That'd definitely be cool.
I mean, because you could see where Jenny would get more. She'd be one of the sanest ones in there, I think. But you would see where she gets more interested and involved in becoming a psychologist. She was already, doing child psychology or studying it. You would see where young Tommy is getting pissed off and wants to get revenge, and you would see where Chris is just completely batshit and you hardly ever see her again.
I would hope that the people behind Jason Rising, the way they ended that, I would love to see that followed up right from that point.
Mm-hmm. I'd love to see Jenny come back in that. If they could get Amy Steele to do a role in that, even the cameo like Adrian did in Jason Rising, that would be great. So
I don't think we're not done with Friday yet. They'll figure some shit out. The money will talk. Eventually, it'll be loud enough to get us something. I don't know what capacity, and it could be a movie only released here in America. It could be a movie only released overseas.
That's not
fucked up.
They're not going to do that.
Logistically, I understand that, but that's what we're looking at right now. That they got to decide on distribution between the characters specifically, and that's
one of those people. Now, here's the thing: one of those people is going to die. Their family is going to sell the rights to the remaining person, and then they'll be able to run with it.
Perhaps, and then it'll be back again. One way or the other, we'll see Jason again.
Right. Colonel, any thoughts on what you would do with Friday?
Like I kind of said, I'd probably just pick up with Earth 2.0, go from there, or that'd be the easiest way to me to tie them all in and still kind of start fresh.
Mm-hmm.
So let's be honest. I'm a sucker for Friday the 13th. I just want the same old Friday the 13th. You don't have to reinvent the fucking wheel on this one, man.
Right.
Give me people choking up, people fucking up, people fucking titties, and decapitations. That's all I need. I know we discussed this a few weeks back where I said I don't think it was necessary to have topless scenes, especially nowadays. But it's Friday the 13th. I need at least one topless scene.
Yeah, well, now, lately, what you're getting are dong scenes.
I don't need a dong scene. That fucking is weird. Just that one particular dong scene. I don't mind a dong scene. Who gives a fuck? I've seen a dong before. I don't care. That one was fucking weird. I was like, that was so unnecessary. I'm sorry.
Well, there's a couple of dong scenes in Men too. If you haven't seen that yet,
I haven't seen it yet. I'm sure there are. And again, I don't care. Don't care. Don't bother me.
Ziggy, what about you? Would you do anything different with Friday?
Well, I would try to find a spot, just like most of these people have done in between, try to fill some gaps. I like that idea. I love the idea of continuing 4. Going beyond with that. I know that's a hard one, man, but
do you like starting with 4?
Even between 3 and 4 would be cool. It's still the same night, technically. It's I could, that's where I would go, somewhere in there. It's just my favorite fucking Jason. My favorite era is 3 and 4, so that's where I'm at. That's what I would want to play with.
I guess I only got one person on my side here. Kiara says someone hire Crank. That would be an interesting concept. Tarek wants to be in charge of rebooting Event Horizon. So many ideas. Well, if you weren't so late, we could talk about them. But
We're going to need 14 pages by Friday.
Yep.
I'm sure the boys touched on Hellraiser by now. But yeah, I'd love to see a complete redo from a different angle. I stayed away from that one because we are getting a complete redo.
Yeah. I thought about putting that one on my list. I'll make it super duper quick. I didn't give much thought because we are getting that. What I would like to see is, history repeats itself. Eventually, the civilization is going to fall. It'll be in the future, but it'll still be like, the Dark Ages. Technology's not there. Someone could, everything's digital now, so there's no text written about the puzzle box. And some poor fucking farmer, planting this fucking wheat and shit, and comes across the puzzle box, and you get like a medieval fucking Hellraiser.
I'm the same way. I thought since we're already getting a couple of Hellraiser projects coming at us, I left it alone.
Right. I did too. Tarek says, any Friday remake would have to have a topless scene at the very least as a cheeky send-up. They can play with that. You can play with that. And yes, that's Michael. That's the one we were talking about. Pamela, a Friday prequel. I don't hate the idea. It's a better concept than 99.9% of the fan films. If I was going to write a Friday sequel, though, I'd do a direct follow-up to 2009 and have Mears come back. Would you have a sequel to 2009, Ziggy?
Yeah, because you get a chance to fix some of the inconsistencies with what they did in the first one. So yeah, I'd be okay with that. He was all right as Jason, and very intimidating at first when he was, he ran that girl down in the very beginning. I was like, holy fuck, there you go. That's some Ted White shit right there. Yes.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Colonel? Could you see it just going that route?
I can see it going that route. I personally wouldn't, because there are certain things I didn't like about the Jason, which made sense. Like the whole tunnel system he used to get around, shit like that. I was like,
I kind of like that in a weird way.
It made sense, but I kind of like the idea of Friday the 13th, the game where we just morphs and shifts, and I don't know. I like the paranormal aspect, I guess, of explaining how he gets around. Instead of a literal, here's how he gets around. We saw it. He has a tunnel system he runs through. I like dumb Jason. I don't like intelligent Jason. Leaving people out as traps for his buddies to come out and get them. Again, that was cool. It was a different idea, but I'm a Friday the 13th purist.
Can't believe it's been 13 years already, man. Fuck.
Yeah.
I know.
Yep. Yeah.
Damn.
All right. Well, love them or hate them, those are our thoughts on how we would relaunch some of the classic franchises. And thanks to you guys for chiming in your own ideas, too. Those were kind of fun and interesting to think about. Now get to writing, you creative fucks.
Yeah.
Obviously we have some ideas that we're working on in the background that we can't talk about too much, but hopefully someday you'll get to see those. They will make the light of day, hopefully.
Yep, someday you'll be amongst the masses shitting on our efforts in the independent film world, but it's all right.
If it's bad enough, I'll add a thing at the beginning of the video, like, the views of this movie do not depict the Colonel. I wash my hands up. I didn't know. Pretty much.
Pretty much looking name off this.
Here's an idea. If it's bad enough, we'll just have someone else post it on their YouTube channel. We'll see.
That's right.
Where have I seen that done before?
Fantastic idea.
It'll be Zigzag, Red Crank, and Alan Smithy. That'll be your credit.
Yep.
Then the Colonel will be like, the General. What, the General is
the Lieutenant.
One last time, I want to thank our members for helping us out. You can become a member too at deathcursesociety.com. Our final girls are Corey, Chris, Lorena, Christy, Luke, S. Michael, Patricia, Tanya, and Tyrone. And our crazy Ralphs are Angelo and Raymond. And our camp counselors are Stacy Lynn, Orlando, Kiara, and Dave. All right. Ziggy, send them out for the night.
Thanks as always for joining us, even on a holiday. Maybe got overserved today out in the sun where you're at, or maybe perhaps you're ducking under your stairwell from a tornado. But we appreciate you stopping in and hanging out with us. And like I said, we love kicking around horror ideas like this. This is really cool, and the fact that you can interact with us and do the same shit, it's that much cooler for us on this end.
Right.
Lots of great stuff coming. We've got Curse Your Luck coming next week. We're going to need a couple of contestants for that, so spread the word. If you know somebody, send them our way, and we'll get them on there. We're going to have got the main prize, I think, is a digital copy of X, the movie.
Right.
And, of course, we'll throw in some DCS shirts and sweeten the pot up a little bit, whatever we're going to do. But let's get it on here. And, yeah, man, the 2 weeks, Living Dead weekend. Here we come, Pennsylvania. And all the footage coming after that. I promise you, the Creep Show and the Terrifier panels are coming this week. At least Creep Show for sure. It's ready. It's there. We're just waiting for someone to push the button and say, here you go. And we'll get that going. So it's all kinds of shit coming your way, and that's all I got to say this week. Thank you.
All right, Colonel.
Well, Zach pretty much covered fucking everything, so don't get sick. Watch your dick. Don't smell like the Scuba Steve. You, Summer's Eve. Thanks for joining us on this Memorial Day, and I'll say it again. Again, just remember, everybody, your cookouts and everything, I hope you remembered what the day is truly about. And thank you to those who served the service and paid the ultimate sacrifice so we could stuff ourselves with hamburgers and hot dogs today.
Amen.
That's right. Yeah. All right. Next week, did you say this?
I said it.
He said it. He
Say it
got
again.
everything. That's one like, okay.
All right. Yeah. And I think you said Living Dead weekend.
Yes.
10 days away from that. So, fine. And you said don't get sick. Goddamn. All right. I don't have a good sign off then. So, that sucks.
All right. 10 pages by Wednesday.
Yep. That's going to wrap it up. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I do have a good sign-off. Well, maybe not a good sign-off, but something I'm going to say. Fuck your thoughts and prayers. We'll see you next week. Woo! Huh?
Huh? What?
Nothing. Just kidding.
Okay.
Have a good night. Woo!
Rock and roll!
Just in the middle of a dream. I was kissing Valentino by a crystal blue Italian stream. But I can't be late, 'cause then I guess I just won't get paid. These are the days when you wish your bed was already made. It's just another manic Monday. It was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. I don't have to run day. It's just another manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. It's just another manic Monday.
What a dick.